I was late. Again. My boss had already sent 2 passive-aggressive emails, and my coffee had spilled all over the passenger seat. The universe was conspiring against me, and then, of course, some idiot in a beat-up Toyota decided today was the day to drive 20 in a 45. I tailgated him, gripping the wheel. Move, move, move. He didn't. When the light turned green, he took a full 3 seconds to accelerate. That's when I snapped. I laid on the horn, a long, angry blare, and swerved around him, flipping the bird out my window. That's when I saw him. Not just some oblivious grandpa. A guy in his 30s, buzzed hair, face twisted into something ugly. He locked eyes with me in my rear view and smiled. Then he floored it. Fear and a wave of panic. The Toyota swerved behind me, riding my bumper so close I couldn't see his headlights. I changed lanes. He changed lanes. I sped up. He matched me. My hands started shaking. I took the next exit on impulse, tires screeching. He followed. I was in some quiet suburban neighborhood now, white picket fences. I made a sharp right, then a left. No sign of him. Maybe I'd lost him. Then, bam, his bumper rammed mine. The jolt threw me forward, my seatbelt digging into my collarbone. I fumbled for my phone. He pulled up beside me at the next stop sign, window down. "You got a problem, princess?" I didn't answer, just hit the gas. But he cut me off, slamming his brakes. I skidded to a stop inches from his door. That's when he got out. Tall, broad, knuckles cracked. I locked my doors. He smirked like that was cute and started toward me. Then, tires screeching, a minivan skidded up behind us. A woman leaned out, phone raised. "I've called the cops. Back off, asshole." The guy froze, glared at me, then at her. Then, just like that, he spat on the ground, got in his car, and peeled away. I sat there shaking as the minivan pulled up. "You okay?" the woman asked. I nodded, but the truth, I wasn't. Because for the first time, I understood. It only takes one honk, 1 second, one wrong person, and your whole life changes. I drove home in silence, 5 miles under the limit. It was just a split-second mistake. I merged onto the highway too fast, didn't check my blind spot, and suddenly brakes screeched behind me. In my rear view, a black SUV swerved hard, barely avoiding my bumper. The driver laid on the horn, a furious blast that made my stomach clench. I raised a hand in apology, but it was too late. The SUV accelerated, pulling up beside me. I kept my eyes locked forward, sweat prickling my neck. The passenger window rolled down. I didn't look. Then, just as suddenly, the SUV roared ahead, cutting me off so sharply I had to slam my brakes. My coffee sloshed, burning my thigh. But at least it was over, or so I thought. 5 minutes later, at a red light, I noticed the SUV again, 2 cars back idling. My fingers tightened on the wheel. Coincidence? Maybe. I took a sudden right turn, then a left, watching my mirrors. No sign of them. I exhaled, paranoid. Hungry now, I pulled into the nearest Burger King drive-thru. The line was long, cars stacked bumper to bumper. I rolled forward, windows down. That's when I saw it, black paint, tinted windows, creeping up behind me. The SUV, my breath stopped. They followed me here. The car in front of me hadn't moved. I was trapped. No way to reverse, no way to escape. The SUV's engine rumbled, too close. like a predator breathing down my neck. I chanced a glance in my side mirror. The driver was staring right at me. Not yelling, not angry, just watching. His expression was blank, but his eyes, well, something was off. His eyes had the kind of look that made my skin prickle, the primal part of my brain screaming danger. Then he opened his door. I fumbled for my window switch, rolling it up as he stepped out. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with eerie calm. He didn't rush, didn't shout, just walked up to my car, stopping inches from my door. I didn't move, didn't breathe. For a long, horrible moment, he just stared at me through the glass. Then, slowly, he pulled out his phone. The camera flashed. He took a snapshot of my license plate. Ice flooded my veins. Why? My mind raced. Thoughts of him stalking me, taking revenge, some deranged obsession. People got killed over less. He lowered the phone, looked at me one last time, then turned and walked back to his car, like it was nothing. The second the car in front of me moved, I punched the gas, swerving out of line. My food didn't matter. Nothing did except getting away. I drove for an hour, checking my mirrors, taking wrong turns. By the time I got home, my hands were still shaking. That was 6 months ago. I never saw the SUV again. No knock on my door, no vandalized car, no sinister messages. But sometimes when I'm lying in bed and hear a noise outside, I freeze, because he has my license number, which he could have used to get my address. Sometimes I feel like he's just waiting for the right time to pay me a visit. Waiting for the right time to settle the score. It was just another Tuesday night. Summer heat, AC blasting, me running 5 minutes late to meet a friend for dinner. I wasn't speeding, wasn't distracted, just cruising down a quiet suburban street when out of nowhere, a rusted-out Chevy Malibu lurched backward from a driveway like it had been fired from a cannon. I stomped the brakes so hard my seatbelt locked. Tires screeched. My bottled water launched from the cup holder, exploding against the dashboard. The Malibu's bumper stopped maybe 6 inches from my front end. For a second, nothing happened. The Malibu just sat there, blocking the entire lane, exhaust puffing like it was catching its breath. Then I saw the driver, head down, phone in hand, scrolling like he hadn't almost killed us both. That's when I lost it. I laid on the horn, a long, furious blast. The guy's head snapped up. Slowly, like some horror movie villain, he turned to look at me. That's when I realized something was very, very wrong. The man was enormous, pale, sweating, at least 400 pounds, and he wasn't wearing a shirt. He opened his door. I threw my car into reverse, but there was a Prius right on my tail. The left lane was a steady stream of traffic. To my right, a curb too high to climb. I was trapped. The man waddled toward me, his breathing audible even through my closed window. His eyes were bloodshot, pupils too wide, like he was riding some chemical lightning. A string of spit hung from his bottom lip. Then he spoke. "You got a problem, pretty boy." His voice was raspy, like he'd been screaming for hours. I didn't answer. Just grabbed my phone, thumb already dialing 911. That's when he jumped onto my hood. The whole car rocked. Metal shrieked as his bulk cratered the sheet metal. I yelped, dropping the phone. He did it again and again. Each leap sent a shockwave through the frame, the hood buckling under his weight. "Screw you," he screamed, spittle hitting my windshield. "Screw your horn! Screw your car!" His bare feet left greasy prints as he stomped. A headlight popped. The windshield cracked in a spiderweb pattern. 911, what's your emergency? A tinny voice from my floorboard. "My hood," I screeched, fumbling for the phone. "There's a guy on my hood. He's destroying my car." The dispatcher asked for my location. I was too busy watching the man drop onto all fours, his face pressing against the glass, nostrils flaring like an animal. He licked the windshield like it was an ice cream sundae. "You taste scared," he whispered. Then, sirens. The man's head snapped toward the sound. For a terrifying second, I thought he might come through the windshield. Instead, he rolled off the hood with a grunt, landing on the asphalt with a wet slap. The cops found him sitting cross-legged in the road, picking at his toenails. It took 3 officers to cuff him. One kept saying, "Jerry, not again," like this was a Tuesday ritual. They asked if I wanted to press charges. I said yes. Then I drove straight to a car wash and sat there for 20 minutes, shaking, while machines scrubbed his footprints away. That was 2 years ago. My hood still bears the dents. And now I think twice before honking, because you never know what will wind up on your hood.